I have done my graduation, master's, MBA, PhD, been to Oxford, Harvard, just to understand how academics across the world operates. And we are a very learner-centric institution. The students must know what is the reality outside. We have a very practice-based teaching methodology. We have more than 25 odd certifications. Our career support starts from the time the student comes in. See, management studies has become more general now. I would suggest to the students is you find out your interest area and know your purpose.
According to recent data, there are approximately 4 lakh students enrolled in MBA and PGDM programs across around 3,100 institutions in India. But the question lies in how to choose the right college for an MBA. To know more about this, let's welcome Dr. Madhumita Chatterji, Director at Acharya Bangalore Business School, who herself is a gold medalist in her MBA and also a recipient of Harvard Business School scholarship. Hello, ma'am. I welcome you to Changemakers by ABBS podcast. Thank you so much for joining us in.
Thank you so much.
Before we begin, please let us know a bit about yourself, your journey so far, and also your expertise.
Well, I have been in academics for more than 30 years now. Academics always attracted me, and so I wanted to be part of this journey. And I have done my graduation, master's, MBA, PhD, been to Oxford, Harvard, just to understand how academics across the world operates. And I've always felt that, it is schools like us, the B schools like us, whom you may call the second tier B schools, are the real backbone of India. And, because they are the ones who really build India, and they are the ones who are going to contribute in a huge way to building the country. And that's where I thought if I could contribute whatever I have learned throughout my journey. And I've been privileged to have very good schooling, very good, masters and graduation. In fact, I would call them very good because I had fantastic principals. I had fantastic faculty members who taught us beyond the course. So we learned more about the human values. We learned more about how to accept others, how to make others feel wanted. And I think that's the most important part of education. Just getting the degree and passing an exam is not something that I believe education should be. That's, I think, literacy. Education is more about what we call the holistic personality, about knowing yourself and contributing in a better way and leaving the place that you are in a much better situation than when you entered it. So that's how I thought I would look at my life, and if I could contribute any way, touch as many lives as I could. And I found academics was an area where you can touch many lives and all youngsters, so you really kind of help in building a nation. So that was the reason I was in academics, and I tried to do my best in getting as much knowledge as possible. And I'm still a learner. Every time I keep learning as I move on, as I meet people, as I interact, as I meet new batches. And honestly, it also keeps me young. So you can't hold nature, but every time you meet a new batch, you stay younger. You learn new things. So that's been my journey. I mean, I was in St. Xavier's, I was in Sophia, I was in Yadupur University, Oxford University, Harvard University. So these all gave me my background.
Yes, you have correctly said, like, education is not only like from where you're getting, but wherever you go, with the surrounding that you are in, and the learning that you will get from your peer, the learning that you will get from your faculty members, that matters a lot, and that creates that impact for the lifetime, and also help you to progress and get success in your life. That's absolutely true. How do you think that ABBS stand out from other B schools in our country?
Yeah, you asked me a question about education, and that education should look at the faculty and the teachers and the principal, director, and all. That is important. Why? And uh, to relate that to ABBS, since you have connected that question as well to ABBS standing away differently from other institutions. we are a very learner-centric institution. Let me start with that. So we are looking at our students and how we can help them. And therefore, our entire curriculum is designed in a manner where we are able to give the latest that is happening around the world. As a global citizen, the students must know what is the reality outside, and therefore, because we are directly under AICTE and we have total autonomy with our curriculum is revised every year, and we become very industry centric and market relevant in the practical way that a student must learn. But management is both an art and a science. It is something that where you are dealing with human beings. So you just cannot work like a machine with another machine. Though we are talking about technology and AI and chat GPT, but at the end of the day, we are all humans. So we ensure that at ABBS, we bring in both these aspects. While you have the cognitive learning, while you have the technology learning, because they are the realities of life and you have to be up to date with them because that's the demand of the market. But you also have to be humane. You also have to understand the ethicality behind using these technology. So ABBS stands apart because in the curriculum, we have brought in universal human values, we have brought in business ethics, things like disaster management and sustainability. I don't think any B school really talks about disaster management at the moment. But that is going to be one big thing because climate change is happening and business is so closely connected with all this. So that's how we stand apart, because those are subjects that may not look very attractive from the employment point of view, but the future job is going to be in those areas because for existence, business will have to look at it. So that's how we stand apart. And we also have unique courses like theater in management, which is a personality enhancement program. So we just don't teach communication standing in a classroom. Those are there, but the whole personality enhancement program is designed through theater in management. And so they have fun and they learn leadership, they learn team building, they learn operations because they put up a show. They also learn communication because theater is one of the best art to teach you communication, remove stage fear, build in confidence. So these are the new aspects we have brought in. And that's why, and just before I close my sentence, we have 2 internships. Not many B schools offer that. So we have a short internship because our students don't come with work experience of much. So we need to give them a view of the corporate world because that's where they're going to go or they're going to start their entrepreneurship. So they do a short internship in between the first and the second year, and they do a long internship at the end of their second year. So we try and give them as much of understanding of the outside world and also about themselves, creating an awareness and trying to make them as emotionally intelligent and human as possible. So that's how I think we stand out.
So with the next generation or the future generation, organizational behavior and HRM is something that is shifting. I mean, the industry is shifting towards it. So what is the teaching methodologies that ABBS is adopting, especially in this kind of specializations like organizational behavior and HRM?
We have a very practice-based teaching methodology. Our pedagogy or andragogy, if we may call it, because they're all adults, it is not based on one book. It is based on a number of cases, number of articles. So it is not just a book-based learning that the student does. So the student also have to do a lot of live projects. They work with analytics. So all these have been brought into the program. So case studies, live projects, presentations, flipped classrooms, which are, a lot of people will talk about is they're actually practiced. So if you talk to our students and even to ensure that that is actually imbibed by the students, our questioning pattern is also very different. It is not like a university exam. So we don't start with the Bloom's taxonomy first level, explain, describe, because it is not about your just mugging up something and talking about it. It is about the application of the concept. So the questions are also designed in that manner. Our entire syllabus has course outcomes that we need to measure. And after the students have answered, we do an analysis. We try and see which course objective we met or which we didn't, and how do we take, measures to ensure that they are met. So our teaching pedagogy is totally practice-based, practical, and they have to participate in it. It is not just based on one book. They have to read a lot. They have to do a lot of research, because research is part of the pedagogy. All students do research and they try and publish papers.
That's true. So you have mentioned like ABBS provides two types of internship. So I mean, apart from that, what are other industry exposures that is being instilled in ABBS curriculum?
Okay. One of the most important thing is we just don't have just guest lectures. Of course, we have industry people who come and do guest lectures, but we have in every subject, we try and bring in industry people to deliver modules. So they just don't come as one lecture. They come and deliver an entire module, especially the one that would relate to probably internationalization or something where we are talking about the market trends, or where we are bringing in new concepts like, say, marketing analytics or digital marketing or HR analytics or DEI. I mean, you were talking about HR and OP, so diversity, equity. So we get experts from that area to teach that module. And we also have experts come in to teach, different tools. So we have almost more than 25 odd certifications, tool-based certifications that the students do with the industry experts. So they come in, they teach them a tool, they give them a problem, the students resolve it, they upload that, they are corrected, then they get their certifications. So industry, and of course there are those corporate visits that we have. But the best part is they're involved with our BOS, that is our Board of Studies. So they tell us what the industry needs. They are involved in our admissions. So when we are admitting people, they are part of the panel. They are also involved in the viva of all the projects that we do. The students also do a campus to community project where they do work with NGOs and government departments, but they also work with, today corporates have a lot of big, huge CSR projects. So students work there. So there is a continuous interaction that happens. And we have in HR a club called Ruday Club, which works on tea and talk, they call it. So there they invite the CL people from the industry who interact on a one-to-one basis with our students. So students get to know them, they ask their own questions. And, there are many things that are happening in the industry. They learn a lot about it.
Right. So how does ABBS prepare students for the future workforce, especially with the intervention of AI?
Yeah. So our teaching methodology has brought in the new technology. Our faculty uses the new technology. And of course, people keep complaining that the students are using Chat GPT and AI to make grand presentations. They're not really learning. But what we do is we have kind of tried to flip it in the sense, okay, you are using Chat GPT. We ask them to use it, then find the mistakes that Chat GPT has done. Because if you don't know the concept well, you will not be able to give the lead to Chat GPT to give you the right answer. So you have to know the concept well. And then we are also using tools like Notebook, where, it helps us to create AI conversations around, say, an article or a book. And those conversations we play in the classroom, because it becomes interesting for the student to listen to a conversation than just always read a book or listen to the faculty. And then the discussion happens. So we brought in these technologies into it. And of course, where they are teaching quantitative papers like business analytics or operations or digital marketing, all the faculty are using the latest tool to teach them. So we have tried bringing in, and for our analytics, we have brought in NLP and AI. Most of the students learn that. That is a new subject that we have brought in. And again, not many institutions have yet brought that in. Of course, a lot of engineering people have brought it. So our teaching of those particular areas are on from the management side. You see, they're not programmers. They have to learn to use the application. So how do they use the tool? So that with this new technology, it helps them to quickly solve problems. So they must know the application more than be the programmer who's developing the thing. So it is at the managerial level that we are teaching how to use the new tools that are there.
Right. Okay, ma'am, I agree to it. When we need advancement in the society, we should adapt with the technology and it should go hand in hand instead of just ignoring that part, which we know that is the future. Future lies there. So that's true. So can a student from ABBS participate in exchange program or internship in abroad?
Yes, they do. We call it the global program. So here the students can experience three countries in Asia like Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia. They go there, work, do small internships. They have to write a project and they get certified there. We also have tie-up in Europe where the students can go for a term exchange. So they can go for an entire term because AICT allows us to do that. And they bring back the credits. The fact that, our credits are accepted by that institution and those institutions accept our credit shows that we are at par with global institutions, and they are all EFMD recognized institutions. We are also members of EFMD and we are accredited by SACS and ISCBE. So our students go there, bring back their credits. Their students come and take back the credits from our institution. And we also give them the opportunity of a dual degree post they finish here. So there is a constant interaction, and we also have some international faculty come and teach modules. So that's another exposure that they have. But yes, students do go for exchange programs, and I think that's a good way of letting them know how the global world works, because they get an exposure of how institutions abroad are teaching and what is happening. And they meet a lot of international students and learn to adjust, adapt, learn to how to work in such situations, because that's important for today's children.
Right. Basically, exposure is important, whether it is different regions in our country or maybe abroad.
Yes.
So, yes. So, ma'am, many MBA aspirants are watching our podcast today. So, what is placements and career support provided to the students by ABBS?
Yeah. See, our career support starts from the time the student comes in. So we have something called bridge course. Why I'm saying this is because the students who are joining the management program come from various backgrounds. So they can be engineers, they can be just an English graduate, or they can be a psychology graduate or a BCom or a BBA. So when they come from these different backgrounds, each one has a different level of learning. So we have to bring them to a level where we are going to start our courses from everybody being on the same level. So we start the preparation from the bridge course itself. And what we have noticed is in the quantitative area where we find many of the students lacking, because they would have given up statistics or they would have given up mathematics. And so in the bridge course, we ensure that we teach that, because at the end of it, they have to give an aptitude test when they're going for their placement. And these help them to clear those aptitudes. You see, today's interviews starts with the rejection process, then only they take them to the selection process, right? So the rejection is about the aptitude tests and all that. So from bridge course itself, we start teaching them all this. And then throughout their stay here, they go through both soft skill learning while they're going through their curriculum. There is the placement department organizes various mock interviews, interactions with the corporate HRs, and as I said, the Ruday Club. So these people, we are members of NHRWA. All these are bodies where HR people and CXO level people are there. So there is a constant interaction. So by the time they come to the time when they are going in for placement, having done their, short internship, most of them tend to grab a job when they're in the fourth term itself. And we have to tell the company that we can release them only after they complete their fifth term. And then the company is, like we've had some of the great brands like Nestle, PwC, Asian Paints pick up in the fourth term itself. So then what they say is, okay, their last internship, let them do it with us and continue with the job. So that's the advantage. So we have designed our curriculum in a manner where, moving to the corporate becomes easier. And those of them who want to become entrepreneurs, there is a cell where they can work and give their business plans. And we do support if the idea is brilliant. We are willing to support. We try and give seed funds also for that. And those who are interested in the social sector, that's a big area where, again, they can participate because we have campus to community. We have mandatory courses in CSR. We have certification in sustainability. We have certification in disaster management and certification in Scrum and Agile, Six Sigma Green Belt, which are quality oriented, that too from PMI. So they are ready for the corporate world. So this is the placement support is not just bringing the company. You see, I have to prepare my student to be able to sit there and be able to talk to the employer and let them know what they're capable of. So I don't think placement is an activity that one can start 1 month before the placement, do some mock interviews and say, now you are ready. We have to be with the students and handhold them from day one, so that by the time they are there, they're confident, they know what they can speak, they know their mind, they're able to do the research that is required. So research is a mandatory part of our curriculum, because that helps them to write reports, that helps them to analyze data, and that's important in the corporate world. So that's there. And of course, we have the placement set that helps them to grab their jobs. And honestly, our students create a PlaceCon team that the placement department creates. So students are also actively involved in the placement role that is there in the institution.
Right. Also, ma'am, do you think the geographical location of ABBS is also an added advantage because it is situated right in the Silicon Valley of India, that is Bangalore? So students get a lot more exposure than that is expected through other B schools across the country.
You are absolutely right. I mean, Bangalore is a happening place. I mean, we can't deny that. Bangalore is a place where there are so many startups and unicorns are here. And of course, the companies, it is the Silicon Valley, the IT sector is there. We also have the manufacturing sector. And besides being in Bangalore, let me tell you, we are right next door to the Pina industrial area, which is the oldest industrial hub of Asia. So there are a lot of MSMEs there, plus medium sector, companies are there. So it does help. I mean, students who come here really will tend to get a job. And e-commerce or IT or startups, this is all happening in Bangalore. So of course, the geographical location is a big advantage for our students. And our geographical location is far more advantageous because we are next door to the industrial hub. So our students do a lot of projects there, because when they do operations paper, they have to do industry projects, and these companies help to give them the industry projects.
That's true. So, ma'am, what is the major shift in management studies that you see can happen now or maybe in future?
See, management studies has become more general now. Earlier, we used to talk about much more specialization. But as we have moved on, we find that they are looking at a person who can do a lot many things. And of course, digital. I mean, there is no doubt that it has imbibed a lot of technology, and digitization has been one of the things that management education cannot run away from. But it has also brought in the concept of sustainability. Management education today is business cannot exist without sustainability. So today's management education is something that has to look at that area, along with, of course, the conceptual knowledge and an overall view of what's happening in the global world. We are connected as a global society. And today students cannot ignore what is happening in rest of the world. So that is where I think management education has shifted a lot from being just a specialized subject to there's a lot of interdisciplinary work that is happening in management. So today in management education, you will find, things like civil engineering coming in the disaster area, or psychology coming in HR and OB. It was always there, but in much more depth it is coming in. Today we are talking about gender equality and all, and the LGBTQ community and all, which were never spoken earlier. Today's companies are also promoting that. So as an institution, we are members of such societies, so that we give that openness, we give that fearlessness in our campus, that you can come, you are a human being, and you can add value to it. So management education has become much more broader. Of course, with technology help, it has grown in a big way. But interdisciplinary activities have increased in the management sphere, and it is being encouraged by the corporates as well. So that's something.
So, you yourself, from being a gold medalist in your MBA to towards a business school scholarship awardee. So, what are the lessons that you would like the aspiring leaders of our country to learn from your life journey, from being a gold medalist to Harvard Business School scholarship award?
I wouldn't say I'm the epitome of knowing all, But yes, all my life, I realized that one has to be serious and know the purpose, why you are doing what you are doing. In that purpose, you have to keep everyone involved in it, in the sense you should know whether you're contributing to the whole. So as a management student, I moved to management from humanities because I felt that is somewhere where the social sciences have a big role to play. And I found it very interesting because when I was in my MBA, when I did my HR, OB and all, I found whatever I'd learned in history about leadership or cross-cultural concepts or, political thoughts, all these were very much part of management. Unfortunately, in our education system, we don't teach many of the humanities subject with a management trend. So I enjoyed being in the MBA class and discussing with my faculty about how these things are connected, like a king's role and that the strategy and all that. So what I would suggest to the students is you find out your interest area, find out what you really like and know your purpose, what you want to do. Nothing is unachievable. Let me tell that to the students very, very clearly. There is nothing in this world that you can't do if you have a wish. But that wish is important. And let me be honest that today's generation is much more blessed, I would say, because they have so much of things at their fingertips. When I was growing up, I'm a senior citizen, if I may add that. So when I was growing up, we didn't have so much of facilities next to us. I mean, we had to really search, we had to go learn. So that taught us hard work. Today's generation probably has to do hard work with the technology that they're getting. So learn to use the technology for your benefit. Know that you can achieve what you want to achieve as long as you have a clear set goal of where you are going. Your purpose should be clear. You should know what is it that interests you, because if it doesn't interest you and it gives you a lot of money, after some time you'll get bored with it. So it is just not the money. It is also the satisfaction that you're getting out of your job. So my journey taught me that while I did my master's or my PhD in India, and I went to Harvard or Oxford after that, there also I found the good thing was that you learn to work on your own, you learn to take care of yourself. But what I enjoyed was that what I learned here I could use, and students from all over the world were my great companions who taught me a lot about different cultures. So I would tell the students, wherever you go, learn to understand the culture of that place, learn to mix, learn to know the people you are with. Very often we create our small groups, in groups, and that is something I think we should avoid. One should learn to be more expansive in their viewpoint. This is something I learned in my journey. And along the way, you must know that you have a role in society and you cannot ignore that. And you must contribute to the whole, because as an individual, I may shine, but at the end of the day, the culmination of my knowledge or my experience is when I contribute to the whole. So the whole must accept me. So I can't say I'm a best professor if my students don't believe it, right? So in my journey, I learned you have to excel, you have to become unique as an individual. But that uniqueness's culmination is when you contribute back to the whole and you actually derive a satisfaction out of that, because that is where the final, learning happens, when you give back to the world what you have learned. So my journey taught me that as I went through different places, different cultures, different types of teachers and friends.
Beautiful, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking us through your journey and helping us to know a lot, like what we could implement in our life. Also, ma'am, what would be your piece of advice to the MBA aspirants, especially which college they should choose and what is the specialization they should do, how they can come about those decisions?
See, what I would say is they should make a considered choice. They should look at the institution, the teaching pedagogy, the kind of faculty that are there, how it is taught, not just, of course, placement. Most of the students look at placement as the only matrix, right, of trying to choose a business school. Placement is important, but are you sure about the data that is being given? So you can be sure only when you know that the academic curriculum, the teaching pedagogy, the faculty who are teaching are doing a great job. So you should choose an institution that will really teach you. Because jobs you will get. I mean, there's a dearth of jobs for the right kind of person. Let me be honest. Even today, we had an industry people from IBM. He was talking to us and he said, the number of jobs today are unimaginable, and which sort of shocked my students because they were thinking, everybody talks about unemployment, but he was talking about jobs. So if you choose the right institution, and for choosing that, have an understanding about the curriculum, the extracurricular, and the co-curricular. So as I said, we have so many certifications. Those are the co-curricular activities. The extracurricular are your fests and all that. If I may just add here, like ABBS has a very unique concept of like the Indian IPL. We have a PGDM. So where with virtual money, of course, we don't have crores of rupees that the IPL has. But it's management style. They learn how to budget. They learn how to strategize. They learn how to choose the right people. So through this PPL system where faculty participate, the students participate, they are the managers, they are selecting, faculty is the owner of the team. After that, they have a real cricket match. And so it's all learning from the vision, the strategy to the implementation. So they're learning all this through this. We also have a capstone program where you actually recapitulate whatever you have done. Because the first year is everybody does the same thing. You do marketing plans, HR, business analytics, all that. So in that capstone project, you are supposed to bring in those ideas and create a project out of it. So normally they take the short internship, or you can select a project of your own.
Right.
For example, if you take Gandhi and you say, I want to understand. So we'll say, okay, give his leadership style, give his marketing style, give his operations. How did he do such marches? So it becomes interesting. So that is what they have to look for, where the pedagogy gives them creativity, makes them more innovative, because then jobs is not a problem. You will get your jobs. So select the institution where the curriculum is good, the pedagogy is good, and of course placement should be there. That is important. But more important is your learning. Are you learning or just doing rote learning? Because that will not get you the best job that you're looking for. A job is there, but the job is important.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us your time. It was really an insightful conversation. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.